Hi, I'm Ashley Adamson. Welcome to Tea Time. This is unedited and unscripted. Gosh, I haven't said that for a while. It's been like 3 or 4 weeks, and I've been just kind of like ebbing and flowing with the way that we kind of talk and introduce ourselves here. But today we're doing it this way. So today's subject is sort of like, one of those moments where you have to reflect and take a look back. And it's a lot of personal story, and it might be interesting for those who are looking forward or people who want to kind of like talk about transitions. So my transition, we're at about almost 2.5 years of my transition on HRT. It's been, I think I'm like 1 month away from it, but yeah, we're going to call it right here and say 2.5 years. Let's do it. So some reflections. Wow. So, like with HRT, if you're taking it or if you're not, how you grow and change. It's such a small little iterative thing. There's like all these little steps that you take in life, and you change in all these minute little ways, and you don't really notice these, right? Until you kind of look and you step back and you go, wow, I've changed a lot. And so for me, looking back at this now, as I'm putting together a 2.5 year transition video, looking at it now, I'm going, oh my God, like even looking back 6 months, looking back 8 months, I look very different. And I have never seen how much more feminine I am now versus when I was even just like 1 year ago. There's been so many changes just in my facial makeup, also because I lost weight. But like that facial makeup change has really just kind of stood out to me these past few days. You see yourself in the mirror all the time, so you don't really you just don't really see much change. But having those photos, having those videos, having those moments where you can look back is incredible. And if I could do it again, I would probably make like one of those projects where you do a photo in the same lighting and you can kind of see the progression. Once a month seems about right. So let me tell you a little bit about kind of the different stages or the main kind of like points in my transition that I'd love to share with you. So the first one is when I started taking hormones. Or maybe let's take a step back and go a little bit before hormones. So before I took hormones, I recognized that I was trans. I just didn't know what I was, non-binary, not sure. That was about, I guess, 4.5 years ago, because I was non-binary and I experimented in kind of gender for a few years to say, you know what, I'm not a they, them. I'm actually a she, her. And that part actually came about 6 to 8 months into taking hormones that I finally was able to go, oh, I am a she, her. So moving forward to my like start of hormones, the first thing that kind of struck me in starting hormones was after I got the T blockers going and I was on the estrogen, emotions became so real. I could connect with them and really feel that. And then that kind of like moved along for about 6 months. And then I kind of had this big awakening. And that big awakening happened at a music festival where I was doing some energy work and I opened up my higher chakras, which are something that we worked on the inner voice on Wednesday. If you did that exercise, highly recommend it. Working on the higher self and kind of letting her come into my body. And I didn't even know what I was doing at the time. But when I did it, it blew me away. It opened my mind and opened me to the possibility of her. And it felt like she came through a portal through here. And it was like unlocking a key. She had been locked away for so long that when she came back, it was like two separate entities, like my old self and her, but we were all part of the same thing. It actually took me like 3 or 4 months to integrate my old self with my new self. And for a while, I referred to myself as we because I was experiencing an us inside me. Kind of a unique experience. I don't think a lot of people have these kinds of experiences, but mine was very stark because I was really good at compartmentalizing and kind of pushing her away when I was much younger, when I was 5. So yeah, that was kind of like the shift in my transition, where her being born into my body like taught me a lot about how to use my body and how to feel it. I know we talk about body dysphoria, but like also just like body feelings. Do you get body feelings a little differently since you've transitioned? Are you finding that certain body feelings also make you feel more feminine, or make you feel more into it? So that was kind of like another thing. And I just want to talk on a meta level, which is going through a transition is a big mental leap. And it's not like you start taking hormones and then you're taking the leap. It's this every single day journey. It's a hike up a mountain, but that mountain just keeps going up and up and up and up and up. And sometimes you hit plateaus where it doesn't feel like there's much challenge. But there comes points where you're like, wow, okay, I still am climbing. And I'm still going through that process now, 2.5 years in. How's it been for you? Has it felt like you've kind of like gotten downhill too? Like you've been able to speed up? I don't know how it's been for you, but I'd love to hear. So those were kind of some big things. Also, once I hit a year on hormones, I really started to see some changes. I see some girls and they're like in a month, I got boobs. Not me. I'm still kind of working on them. They're pretty small, but they're a little perky, which is nice. P.S. Massaging your boobs, that's a good thing. Like not only just for gender validating, which I've heard some of you like to do, but also it actually helps stimulate growth. So just, FYI. So there's that. And then, so a year in, I really started to see body changes. I didn't really pass in public, but at a year and a half in, suddenly something shifted. I guess that last 6 months really helped push the fat in my face to the right place, because suddenly I was getting like way more dates. People were way more interested and attracted to me. And I was passing in public, at least in the sense that if you didn't like stand there and talk to me for a while, you wouldn't figure out that I'm trans. You would just kind of see me as a woman, as you kind of be like, oh yeah, it's a woman across the street. But now at 2.5 years, I seem to pass. Like even without makeup, people read me as a woman, which is like incredible to me, because I just never thought that was going to be possible. And I never thought that was going to happen. As far as the dating thing though, it's been hard, because I've been basically single for most of the time that I've been identifying as a woman. I was dating someone when I was non-binary, and as I transitioned, I was with them. But pretty much when I started stepping into, oh, this is me, and I like to date men, and I'm sorry, but I can't date women anymore. That's kind of like it's kind of like there's a twist there, which is I do date women and we have fun, but it's not like romantic. I don't know. I don't want to sound like biased like that. I'm bi, but it just long term, it doesn't work out for me with women. I think that's because I need someone to hold masculine space so I can expand in my feminine space. I think that's ultimately what it is. And I enjoy, I guess sexuality is a big topic related to this transition. Is the sexuality shifted? I realized about a year into my HRT that women weren't doing it for me anymore. My heart started to be like the center point of like sexual energy. Like I would feel like someone could take my breath away. And I thought that was just like, something silly or like, romance dumb or whatever. But it like actually happens and you go, oh my God. And like that kind of feeling doesn't happen for me with women. I'm sorry, women. I love you, but I'm sorry, that doesn't work. So that kind of stuff happened as well. Now that I'm 2.5 years in, I think the biggest thing for me that I've recognized is I am seeing myself as a woman more. I'm looking in the mirror, I'm going, okay, she's there. You know, there's some things that I would change, but she's there. And I reassure her that everything's going to be okay, that she is a woman, that she does look beautiful, even when she doesn't see it. I look in the mirror and I go, oh, ugly. But I then say, no, you're beautiful and I love you. And repeating that helps me recondition my own self-judgment. Self-judgment is probably the worst. Am I right, girls? It's so hard. Well, there's probably a lot more things that I could expand on, and I'll have to think about this more, but we'll call it a wrap there. Thanks for joining me for tea time today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.